Hello everyone and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku Showboat. Today is Sunday, September 29th, 2019. If you are watching the VOD on YouTube, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you are so inclined, head on over to twitch.tv/OtakuShowboat to leave a follow, to be notified when I go live Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. US Eastern Time. You can also follow me on Twitter at OtakuShowboat and visit my website at otakushowboat.com. You can help support Pyanodon at patreon.com/Pyanodon and myself at patreon.com/OtakuShowboat. Today's question of the day is, what is your favorite aspect of Factorio? Oh boy, I haven't actually thought about this. I think my favorite aspect would be the design aspect, actually figuring out the chains and figuring out how to build those chains in a way that that it all functions elegantly. So just thinking about the various ways in which you can do stuff, just overall the design aspect of it is what I would say would be what draws me into Factorio. Not the combat mechanics, of course, not the actual math involved, not the art style or any of that. It's the design. It's what it draws out of you in terms of figuring things out. The puzzles that you solve is what I would say is my favorite aspect, and is why I'm drawn to Pyanodon's mods in particular. I've said before that it's not really the art style of Pyanodon's mods that I'm drawn to. It is the figuring out of things that that is the aspect that I enjoy. So, going into the pre-stream notes and things. My emote is approved, so that is now available for subscribers. Looking at it just now, I need to do something about the actual text of the zero. You can't clearly make it out on a black background. So Twitch changed the look of the website. You probably noticed, you may or may not have noticed, that Twitch has changed how it looks a bit. Not a huge change, but a change nonetheless. A change that brought with it ads on follow pages, like on your current list of following stuff. It's like, oh great, so now there's ads, actual traditional ads on the pages that I go to on Twitch. So, oh yeah, great. I guess now I actually need to have my ad blocker on for Twitch. I've had Twitch Prime this whole time, so I already wasn't seeing ads on videos, but now even with Twitch Prime, you're seeing standard ads on various other browsing features and your current who's live of your follows. So that's a downside of it, but they also have adjusted the background color on, at the very least, the dark mode for Twitch, the black theme. So as it turns out, because it was, I think, off black, it wasn't pure black before. So now it's pure black, and that's making the icon that I submitted a bit hard to read. I think I'm going to change it so that the actual text is 0 in green, and like a brighter color shade of green, and then surrounded by the black border. And I think that will look better. I've just displayed it in the stream chat. So yeah, it's a little hard to read on the black. Probably looks okay on the light theme, the white background, or off-white. I don't actually know. I don't view Twitch on the not dark color theme. I prefer websites to have a dark theme. White hurts my eyes. Too much white hurts my eyes. So I prefer black. But some people prefer white to have to just read. Some people just prefer the white. I don't. It hurts my eyes. Anyway, besides the emote being approved, and I will have to do a few edits to that, which will again have to go through approval, but at least I'll have the emote up until it's modified and approved. So, yeah, besides that, you may notice down here, I changed the sub point counter to be one that's actually, this is actually a live count on the sub points right up here. So I've figured that out. It's a different feature of Streamlabs. It is the stream labels feature, not a sub goal. Because previously I had a sub goal, and as it turns out, they only update your goals while you're live if the bar is loaded at the time, and if the bar is loaded. So if your bar is off scene, it apparently didn't update, and then after I went offline, the bar just kept saying 0 on me. So it's like, I don't want that. I want an actual current count, and then I can just keep iterating the extra, like, out of 15. Like, once I hit 15, I can keep incrementing up that out of 15, because that's just something that I put as plain text. So besides that, there's really not too much else to talk about. There's been some updates to the Pyanodon's mod suite, in particular the removal, if you're using Pyrot ores, of the chromite sand from rich dust recipe. That came up last stream, where I pointed out that exists. What happens if an EU viewer subscribes to a US-based streamer? Does the streamer get more money? I don't know. I don't know if they get more money. You get half. That's all I know. I think they convert it. I just don't know. I don't have the experience. Either way, for the remainder of September, new Tier 1 subs are half price. That I know. I don't know off the top of my head, because I haven't actually really looked up what I get. If I get $250 US, even if it's a Euro sub, or if I get the conversion. I mean, USD and Euro are already pretty close to each other in terms of value at the moment, anyway. There used to be a time where it was a lot higher. It used to be $2, close to $2 a euro, but now they've gotten really close to each other. Like, what is it now? Like $1.20 or something like that a euro? What even is that conversion? USD to euro. So 1 USD is 91 euro cents. So euro to, yeah, $1.09. So they're already pretty close to each other. I don't think it ultimately matters too much to me, a difference of pennies like that. But I'm going to assume that they convert to USD and give half after that. I just don't know. Do not know. Do not know. What I do know is that I do have one current Twitch Prime subscriber, and that for the remainder of September, the whole today and tomorrow that exists, the fresh tier 1 new subscribers can subscribe at $2.49 rather than the full $4.99. And I would see all of it thanks to Subway paying the remainder to, I guess, Amazon/Twitch. So there's that. As for the actual updates to the Pi Suite, not too much to really discuss. There, it says $4.99 if you click it, though. Again, it should be available if you're on desktop. I don't know if it's exclusive to US, though. Might be exclusive to US. That would be the only other thing that I would note is if it might be US exclusive. So we shall see how things go. Anyway, let's load up the game. Let's load up Factorio and actually get started here. Switch over my scene. Twitch September. Oh, it is apparently over. It apparently ended September 24th. Which is a shame. Like, why do they say that it lasts September, but it was actually only the 3rd through the 24th, which, like, okay. So I guess it's just over, which is sad. Yeah, they ran out of money. Which is also, I'd say, pretty valid. I haven't had Subway in a very long time. I used to have, in my undergrad, there was a... So when I was living on campus for my undergrad, as part of the meal plan that you could choose to eat through their cafeteria, they also included a certain amount of money that you could use at any of the fast food places on campus, like in their food court areas. And during that time, there was a Subway, and I would always spend all of that cash on the Subway. But before it was Subway, it was a Quiznos, which, again, similar thing. It's just they were a Quiznos, and then they became a Subway, I guess, after contracts changed. So, would always have my subs there. But as of now, as of the past 2 years, I wouldn't even think about eating at a Subway or Quiznos because I'm on low carb / ketogenic diet. So that sort of precludes having subs. Anyway, today I need to talk a bit about, I should say, about the various things that I have done off stream. So, as I had mentioned before, I was going to work on designing and scaling of things that already exist that I've sort of already done off screen, which I have done. I am literally working on a self-perpetuating base for boron. Like, where the heck did I do it last time? So last time, remember how I set this thing up for boron? So I could start making the proton donors? Yeah, I decided I was going to try to design a setup that like a self-feeding setup that doesn't use any robots at all to make boron. Let's just say that as I got going into it, just the scale of it just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing to the point where it's basically a base just to do boron by itself. Partly because the refined syngas is pretty huge. So is the hydrogen chloride, because hydrogen chloride uses a not insignificant amount of lamps. Like, seriously, it is a not insignificant amount of lamps if you're trying to feed boron here. Essentially, I'm trying to make enough boron in that little base. The target output uses like an entire... It's like 1176 units per second of refined syngas and hydrogen chloride, converting into a lot of boron. A lot of boron. It's like 11-ish per second. Something along those lines. I forget exactly what the ultimate output is. And it actually... That ultimate output stems from like 5 ground borers. It's like 12.5 units per second of the raw borax ore in. But so I designed the refined syngas. I actually have a blueprint now for refined syngas somewhere in here. It's so big that in order to actually see the thing, I would have to run a command to zoom out to actually properly place this thing, because it's so huge. So, if I actually look at it in the blueprint view, we can start to get an idea of what this all entails. You can see there's a lot of Tholen atmospheric extractors here. There's a lot of Tholen atmospheric extractors here, and a lot of Tholen plants. That's to make acetone, because we're making organic solvent for this. Refined syngas has a recipe that I'm doing down here in this cell that is syngas plus methanol. So syngas plus methanol. Now, I've noted before that you could do a Nextlit and organic solvent recipe to make equal amounts of syngas and methanol, but it's actually a crap ton of Nextlit that involves. And the amount of space that would take up to get the amount of Nextlit to feed the amounts of refined syngas that I would need is astronomically high, much bigger than even this. So I was like, okay, let's get better ways to get methanol individually and syngas individually. Well, syngas with oxygen is the recipe that I'm doing here. Tiersif's module slot mod to add additional modules on the buildings is a little bit OP on this particular circumstance, because there is technically a feedback loop that can happen with higher level of productivity modules than what I currently have. As it is, this is technically almost self-sustaining with 4 productivity module 1s here to do the syngas, because it outputs tar, and the tar loops back into the coal gas that's used to feed even more of this. So really it's just oxygen in to feed the syngas with a little tiny bit of extra coal gas / tar in to keep it moving. That's what all of this stuff out here is for. So yeah, lots of syngas, lots of and then the methanol. So the methanol recipe is organic solvent and olefins to make methanol plus petroleum gas. And it gives equal amounts of methanol and petroleum gas. So I end up with, by using this recipe, a bunch of petroleum gas that I'm currently actually just voiding, but I could use for other things. And in the process of getting the organic solvent up here, which is the acetone and syngas, I think it's acetone and syngas, or something or other. This gives ammonia as well, so you end up with an excess byproduct of ammonia and petroleum gas, like near enough a full throughput, like 1200 per second, near enough of the petroleum gas, and all of that feeds into basically a full throughput pipe of refined syngas. So this whole thing, and then of course the olefins here is from the biotic-based aromatics. So a whole bunch of gasifiers here taking in a lot of mushrooms and some flowers, Relesia flowers, going in, feeding in, and making olefins out of it, because it's a direct conversion of aromatics into olefins. So that plus the methanol equals refined syngas right down here. It's like, okay, well, and then you get to the so that in and of itself was fine. There is no Faugi Plantation Mark 2, 3, or 4 that is currently available. They exist in the code, but they are not unlocked at any tech. And that is purposeful. That is very purposeful. I would not expect to see a Mark 2, 3, or 4 of the Faugi Plantation until Pi Alien Life. Just hint, Pyanodon, I'm going to expect to see Mark 2, 3, and 4 of the Faugi Plantation with Pi Alien Life. There's also going to be about 15 mushroom recipes for Faugi. Something along those lines coming in Pi Alien Life. Just a few additional recipes to make Faugi. Just a few additional ways to get it a bit faster. Just that much faster. You're going to be feeding a lot of things to alien life. Like that's going to happen. So the other thing besides this big old refined syngas setup that I designed is this little blueprint. And I can actually show this to you because I have it built. I have built it. Also, you may notice, but I have taken my entire base and I have put down ghosts to say, give me all of the aluminium tile everywhere. So all of my construction bots are currently busy. And you may notice that I currently have 11,000 available logistic bots, when it used to be 0. I will get to that very shortly. Yeah, you can already see the the belting here, feeding into these. That's part of it. That's part of it. So let's just say that every single one of these DDC blocks that I have, converting coal, yeah, those all are being direct fed now. Every single one is direct fed. So that saved a ton of the robots. That really cut down on the robot usage. So going up here to a completed block, I have about 9 of these 2x2s placed. 9 of these grid squares. This is self-perpetuating Gwargum, where the only robot interaction is the removal of the Gwargum to its final destination. And each of these 2x2s is a 1.6 unit per second of Gwargum out. Did the change contribute to the UPS drop? You see that I'm down from last time. Well, I'm down from last time partly because I'm zoomed out quite a bit. Also, I just don't know. That something about today has been impacting the UPS. Then again, I also have about 20 bajillion aluminium tile ghosts placed. Yeah, so that would probably be why the UPS is down. Like, having a few 100,000 aluminium tile ghosts placed, definitely, I would say, is contributing to the UPS situation at the moment. Google bajillion. Bajillion is not a number. Quadrillion is. Septillion is. Not bajillion. But definitely at least several 100,000, if not a million or two. So, yeah, this setup, I decided that I was going to start doing Gwar on the basic recipe that does not use lamps. Because after looking at what I need on the hydrogen chloride in terms of the lamps, which is really extreme for reference, like just the amount of lamps you need on the hydrogen chloride side is just way too extreme. But I decided I'm going to try to avoid anything that needs lamps whenever possible. Because in terms of Gwar, the only thing that the lamps do for you is save space overall. That's the choice that you're presented with. You could either have less Gwar plantations, but more infrastructure to feed it, or more Gwar plantations and less infrastructure to feed it. And since I have the Gwar plantations, and I'm not really limited by space, I've decided I'm switching over to this from what I used to have. This also gives, like, a fair bit of CO2 out because of the organic matter. So I'm just voiding out the excess here. Note that previously I had gotten... Like, previously all of this was being done with robots. The entire process was being done by robots. Feeding the more advanced clay plus sand plus lamp recipe for the Gwar, that was pretty much being fed by bots. The conversion into Gwar seeds was being fed by bots. The Gwar seeds, the moving of the Gwar seeds, 30 per second per Mark II solid separator was feeding into the pulp mills to make the Gwargum. So this transition was necessary, and it's in and of itself saved a lot of my logistic bot usage. The downside is, of course, I need a lot more guar plantations, and I need a lot more of these 2x2 squares. But just thinking about it, this is 1.6 per second per 2x2 square of guar gum. 1.5 is enough to feed a yellow belt of iron ground boring. It's enough to feed the drilling fluid 1 to feed a yellow belt of iron. So that's wonderful. Of course, part of my building of the boron base off screen is now at the point where it's like, okay, now I need to build the infrastructure for the drill heads. So that involves having to set up chromium and like ground boring of chromium, which means I have to do drilling fluid 2, which means I need lead for silver, which means I need which means I need drilling fluid 1, and I also need the iron for the lamps. I need copper for the lamps. I need copper for the drilling fluid 1 for the iron, and for the lead for the silver, and for the ethylene glycol for the drilling fluid 2. Yeah, it's going to be a base for just boron. Needless to say, it's gonna take a while before that design is finished and I can copy paste it. But what it is going to be is modular. So each of these pieces, shall we say, is going to be modular, and I can actually bring in the pieces like I've done here with the guar, because it's like, okay, let's design a guar 2x2 that can feed at least the single output of iron, for instance, or a single output of whatever else for drilling fluid 2 for chromium and whatever. And then this is a repeatable unit. The unfortunate part about this design is it cannot be tiled infinitely. It can be tiled next to itself by rotating it on 2 ways here, but this third one cannot fit right. You can't put one here, so you can have it... You can make, like, plus signs out of this, but you can't put it here, which is sad. It just barely doesn't fit. Barely doesn't fit. So now that all of my robots are free, by the way, my Zipier have been moving a lot more. There's been a lot more. In fact, for a brief bit of time off screen, I saw that every single one of these 180 was actively moving, at least briefly. So that was convenient. That was convenient to see all 180 of these. It's like, oh, my heart. I'm so happy. I'm so happy seeing them actually moving. All of my effort to build this, to build the infrastructure to feed these all at once, was being used. I don't know why they're not all being used now. It's just, I think now the... What's happened is that all of the built-up stone wool that was building up because there was a lack of robots to ship it off to the Zipier line has now been used. So now we're limited by the output over here as the cat goes digging behind me. So, basically what I'm saying is I need to get more gravel to keep this fed. because I need to still finish off the additional classifiers. I still have some work to do up here on these two. Kitty? I heard... Oh, there he is. He came a different way. Hello, Kitty. Kitty Cole's been very much enjoying my lap lately. He's been quite clingy. Yeah, I see you. You're gonna come up? You gonna come up? Yep, there he goes. There he goes. But, could you please not right now? Go to the desk, please. So, yeah, additional work will need to be done. Today's goal will be to do some particle acceleration. I have everything I need for reference to do particle acceleration. Oh, thanks for finishing this. Hi. Hello. Hello, Mr. Kitty. Kitty Cole. I now have everything I need, so it's just really a matter of placing the buildings for it. I do have my particle accelerators right here. All ready to go. I've got some power. Not enough power, but some power for it. But yeah, a lot of work. I took all of these mushroom farms and am direct feeding wherever possible. I'm even direct feeding here into the coke production now. So direct feeding coal into coke from these mushrooms. Pretty much every single 2x2 mushroom farm is direct feeding into DDCs. I also took the opportunity to fix an issue that I had on pretty much every single one of these, of the ash outputs. So that's a thing. That's what I did off screen here. Now, what am I going to make first? Oh yeah, speaking of which, also off screen, I moved my nickel because I was pretty tapped out on where I was mining my nickel. So I need vanadium oxide, I need diamonds, and I need molybdenum plates. So I'll be doing all three of these. Now, I will note that does give more than this, but proton receivers are a little bit easier than proton donors, and I'd rather, I suppose, spend the chromium than the titanium. So I will do this. I will, of course, do efficiency modules when I get some. I'm not currently actually requesting any. Request some efficiency modules. I know I have, like, practically none. Oh, wow. Okay. So, as it turns out, I'm looking at my alerts right now. In terms of missing items, I am missing 1,400 on the efficiency modules. And apparently like 5 Mark II turbines. But that's the only thing that's being alerted to me as straight up missing. I think it's just because there's so much stuff right now that it's going to cycle. The game's going to just scan and keep cycling and just show stuff at random. Because yeah, now the turbines is no longer listed, even though I know that the turbines are there and exist. But it's like, well, how are there 44 on the way when I have 1.4k needed for various things? Like, and then I know I am lacking the speed modules as well. This is all because I have like several 100,000 squares of aluminum tile that it's trying to place. Several 100,000. Doesn't help that the actual tiles are, heck, way further down than that. Doesn't help that the actual tiles are here. Here. I'm also not making any more, for that matter. There you go. Start, go ahead and make some more. Oh, right. Need a, thingy here, too. Yeah, go ahead and, make a few more. Oh, I've only got 210k here, and I used this entire chest already. But, yeah, for now, all of my construction dudes are being used. The whole 2,306. Alright, so there's this. 1, 2, 3. That brings it down to, 20 megawatts. Auto-saving. Unfortunately, you cannot use productivity. That would be a little bit overpowered. So, how many of these? What I want to target here? I don't even know what amount I want to target here. Like, really. I don't know how many I want. One for now. Absolutely. I'm going to need one of these. And I'm going to need one of these. And I'm going to need one of these. As well as filter inserters on the output. And one of those on the input. Request things. You are going to take the crystal graphic substrate. That 30% return on the substrate, and you, of course, will take the wonderful and beautiful vanadium oxide. And that's basically it. That's basically it. I can, of course, copy. I'll do a new row here. This will not be vanadium. This will be diamond. And then you have to be proton donors. There we go. Proton donor. I should have some graphite. Enough graphite. And then you... You shall be beautiful, wonderful Molly. Beautiful and wonderful Molly. You are actually also chromium. I could just copy that. But instead... There we go. That will be, of course, No, what am I thinking? You, there, there. It's always going to be substrate. Always going to be substrate. Come on. Molly plates. Molly plates. I know you're in here. Molly plates. That, as they say, should be that. Let's see. You know, 11,000, close to 12,000 Logi bots. I've got basically half of my Logi bots returned to me after the changes that I've made off screen to the setup to help reduce the sheer number of bots being used. What's using the bots mostly right now, actually, outside of killing excess stuff here, is feeding this setup. I'm going to anticipate that this is going to fill up and back up, because I don't really need the coal. At least I don't need a lot of coal anymore from here. But a lot of bots are pulling mushrooms. A lot of them are pulling mushrooms for that. A lot of them are pulling mushrooms for substrate, Falgi substrate, right here. Also pulling coke to go all the way up to the stone wool. A lot of flying robots moving gravel around, but it's better than them moving around the actual thingies. The thingies. The sand. Also, you. Okay. So, Pyanodon made an adjustment to the industrial diamond recipe. However, at the same time, he also increased the time per cycle. So, he halved the proton donors required, but doubled the time. Which, when you think about it, is still going to be the same amount of proton donors over time. It's like, oh, yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, great, it's half the proton donors, but it's also half the output by increasing the time to 30 seconds from 15. So it's like, there's no point to that change then. Because, yeah, 20 was overkill. 20 was overkill. 10 is better, still really high compared to the other things. Diamonds are supposed to be rare, so anyway. Although, to that I say, as a geologist, diamonds are not rare. Diamonds are not rare. For reference, the only reason diamonds cost so much is because the supply is purposefully limited by the mines. But diamonds, specifically industrial diamonds, are actually incredibly common and relatively cheap. But even gemstone quality diamonds are not rare. If the supply wasn't artificially limited by corporations, basically, if it wasn't artificially limited, diamonds would actually be about, I think it's at least 10 times cheaper than what they are. At least 10 times cheaper. But yeah, Diamonds are actually incredibly common, especially stuff used in industry. So that whole argument for Pyanodon that diamonds are rare, it's like, actually, they're not. Like, actually, no, diamonds are not rare. Not in the slightest. Not on planet Earth are diamonds actually that particularly rare. It's just that the supply is purposefully limited to keep them expensive. So we're getting a little bit of stuff. By the way, this one particle accelerator making molybdenum plates is making more than the output of a yellow belt of moly ore in. Like, I have found this hilarious that one particle accelerator produces more molybdenum plates than the output of processing a full yellow belt of ore. Like, really? So yeah, we're making vanadium. We're making diamonds. And we're making moly plates. Guess what we can do? We can make super steel, and we can make purple science, technically. However, purple science is also going to need one more thing. One more thing, and I really don't like that it needs this one more thing, but... this is... Yeah, I'm going to do this. I don't like feeling like I have to do this, but I'm going to do this just so that I can get it done and over with at this point. Early gold. Early gold. And what am I going to use that early gold for? I'm going to use it for uranium. Yep. That's what I'm doing. Gold and uranium. I know that Immortal Sniper and everyone who is interested in efficiency is not going to like that I'm going to do this, but tough. This is what I'm doing. And I'm going to make this out of the silver, because I'm not currently using a lot of silver. I will change this. Once I have purple science and I can start making gold from my chromium, then I will get rid of this, but I'm still going to keep the uranium ore out of here. Yeah, it's proton donors, but I need ore. I need uranium, because I need nuclear samples. Uranium ore. You are gold plates. And that should be that. If I wanted to, I could actually make silver out of copper as well and sort of keep this going infinitely. Sort of do like direct feeding belt stuff here, but I'm not particularly interested in doing that. I will get the gold the old-fashioned way once I have my purple science set up. So why do I have to do this for uranium? Can I not just mine it? Yes, I could just mine it. I'm not lacking on uranium patches I could mine. That's just a convenient example. That's 4.5 mil. Just sitting there. But I've got others as well. I've got a 412k there. I've got some down here as well, something like that. There's uranium across the map, but the theme of this playthrough at this point is to get everything sustainably, as in ground bore or otherwise gain from water as a resource. Everything. Everything that is possible to be gotten that way. Now, when it comes to uranium, this is the only way. Ground boring is the only way on uranium. that is sustainable. So for uranium ore, your choices are mining, or this, or this. The problem with the byproduct of the rare earth, of course, is that there's no other way of getting rare earth ores sustainably. You have to mine rare earth. That is the one thing, the one and only thing in this playthrough that has to be mined. Speaking of which, I need to have a look here, make sure that that the actual rare earth extractor is, you know, doing its job. This was also nerfed, by the way, to have less of a uranium output relatively recently. But you need the ore to make nuclear sample, which is required for purple science. And that's the problem, is that you need it for the ore. When it comes to the U-235 and U-238, yeah, you can do this. Don't know why you would, but you can do that. You can do fuel reprocessing, all of that. I don't really see a need to do any of this. I don't see the need. The only thing I'm going to really use my uranium for is just the nuclear samples, I think. I'm uncertain about going the actual route of the uranium processing unless I need the higher level fuel rods. The only time I see myself going up this chain is for the higher level fuel rods. 40%, that's fuel rod 3. 50% gives 45 as well. 65%, 70%. 70% powder, Mark IV. Heavy Fermion material. Oh god, okay. Oh, yeah, okay. So I am going to have to do it because I'm going to need it for the heavy Fermion on the 70%. What about the 73%? Into 75, into 79, into 81, into 83, into yellow cake. That is only Fuel Rod Mark V. That is only Fuel Rod Mark V. I can skip this. I can skip this. Thank God. I can skip all of that. You do not need to do that whatsoever. But you do need to go up to 70% for heavy Fermion material. For Mark III stuff. As well as Condo Substrate and Printed Circuit Substrate 4. This is for your Circuit 4s. What is this? Bose-Einstein Superfluid for... What is this for? Space Science and Mark IV stuff. As is the Pi-Josephson junction for Space Science. And this beautiful recipe that gives all the science, besides utility. I don't know why this doesn't have utility on it. It's like, oh, yeah, it's all the science, except space, which has the exact identical recipe, slightly more quantum dots. And it's like, okay, well, that's great and all, but where's utility? It's like, okay, you give a very high-tech way of getting all the other science packs, except utility. Wonderful. Anyway, so yeah, 70%. God, alright. There's a reason why I'm making tutorials, and that is for these moments where I realize, oh hey, I'm going to need to build this thing eventually. May as well make a tutorial for it to figure out how I'm going to actually do the thing. Hey, it's gold. Hey, it's uranium. It's our good friend Uranium ore. First up, though, now that I quite literally have everything that I need to start actually progressing after all of this time, like, I've spent a really long time not progressing. I need to do non-zero progression now. It has arrived. I need to do non-zero progression. I need to go all the way out over to here-ish somewhere. This is all my iron processing. Where's my iron casting? All the way out here. All the way out here. Where's my... Could have sworn I put down a super... There it is. I could have sworn I put down a super steel. It's time for super steel. It's time for super steel and Mark II Logibots. Oh boy. Oh boy, it has arrived. The time has arrived. It has come. The time has come to get better bots. Better Logibots. I've already got the better construction bots going. I need the better Logibots. Like, I really need the better Logibots. Although I have currently 13 grand not doing anything, I don't want to be in a situation where I need more Logibots ever again. It would help to design around the concept of not making use of the Logibots 100% of the time, but anyway. You there. Right. Well, silicon, that's going to be simple. I could actually do that locally. It is the automated factory, right? I do believe. Where is my silly con? No, it's not in here. My silicon is in, of course, high pressure furnaces. Of course it would be in high pressure furnaces. Oh boy, you go away. You go away. High pressures. Silicon, wherefore art thou? There you are. Sand! Pure sand. Oh boy, that is one step higher than I was expecting. Oh. I was just thinking, it's like, can't I get that from quartz? No, I think it's the wafers. Yeah, it's the wafers that use the crushed. I was like, isn't silicon crushed quartz? No, it's the wafers that's the crushed quartz, sadly. Oh. Oh. I could use proton donors to make it. No. Don't even think about it like that. So, you there are going to be very important. Pure sand. That is a thing that I need now. Fortunately, I've got you. I'm going to use you. You know what? I'm going to use this. I've got these two spare lines. I can use that to make pure sand directly. I already have a little bit of pure sand right in here. How much is available? Oh, like all of it. So I could request it. The issue with requesting it is you know, I'm trying to avoid the strain on the bots. And then how much do you need? 1.5. 1.5. Figures. 1.5 and then 2.4 on the coal dust. So coal dust I also have on my network. Over here. Yes, right here. Wherever I have these setups, which I currently have 2 on my network, I've got them feeding excess into these. So I don't have to worry about making that. But again, that's more work on my robots. Yeah, stack inserters fine for that. Not there. There we go. Always request more to take into account flight times. There's the silicon. Ooh, niobium. Niobium, that's going to be... need some work. So, the reason why I'm reacting that way about niobium, my current state of niobium. So niobium requires salt to cast. Yeah. This is why I'm like slightly cringing on the demand on the niobium. This niobium patch is freaking amazing. Just for reference, this patch is just amazing. But salt. Now, I have salt. Like, that's not the problem. The problem is the logistics of getting the salt from here to here. Now, one option I do have is I could pipe my niobium complex up to the main part of the base, and I could set up chemical plants to make this stuff and actually cast up where I actually have the salt to feed it, and significant amounts of ammonia. I've got plenty of the ammonia to feed it. So that is an option. I can just take my niobium complex from here and pipe it all the way up. And I'll probably do that, because niobium complex is actually treated as, like, molten niobium. That's how it's treated. The complex is treated as a molten on niobium. So I'm thinking of that. It's just... that's work I would prefer doing off-screen. So for now, I'm actually going to take this to feed, give it that. Doesn't need the silicon. Needs fuel rods, so. Fuel rod! Do not ever use for Mark 1 fuel rods the uranium powder recipes. I am going to use this one. High pressure furnace, of course it is. Of course it is a high pressure furnace. Whoops, that is not the recipe. Wherefore art thou? Fuel rod. You. Please tell me. Yes. Okay, that's convenient. That is convenient. That helps. That helps a little. 2.25, oh boy. 4. Beautiful. Doink. 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 And doink. Yeah, I've got silicon. I think I got the silicon. As all my beautiful machines bring stuff. Let's see. Individually, that's pretty small. I'm still gonna give you like a stack inserter. I'm gonna sneeze. I think I hit that mute button in time. Also, I because I have to. Non-zero. How many non-zeros are there now? When I started particle acceleration, let's see here. So that's non-zero. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's your 5 non-zeros in the chat. 5 non-zeros in the chat. Actually, let's not forget more, and more. 5 non-zeros. And of course, the outputs here, I'll just do standard old belts. Here, I probably want this, just in case. There's fuel rods. Glorious, beautiful fuel rods. A little bit more than what is demanded. Alright, that should cover it, right? You don't need to request those. That just leaves inputting my molten stainless. That just leaves inputting molten stainless. Now, I'm just primarily seeking non-zero right now. Not really looking for infinite amounts. Excuse me. That is a lot of stainless. How about you not? How about you not do that thing? You've got stainless. Cool. Just needs fuel rods and niobium plates, and this is where the problems will arise. So, niobium plates. Have I actually brought those up? I have. But it's a trickle. But it is a trickle. So I think I'm going to have to do this on this stream. So, the mission going forward is to improve the niobium situation. Also, bring that over because there's still one more thing. There's always one more thing. That one more thing being we need to actually cast the stuff. Need to actually cast this molten super steel into super steel. Then I can set up glorious things. Super steel, by the way. Not quite required for purple science directly, but is sort of required. I see it's here in utility. It's sort of required for handy things like substations. Also handy things such as Glorious and Beautiful Robot Mark II of the cargo bots. Yeah, these guys. These guys are important. Also, blue belts. But I still need the super alloy. Similarly with the special small parts, I still need, like, the Nenbit matrix, the glass fiber, the aerogel, and the grease to feed this stuff. Used in a whole bunch of mines that I'm not even remotely interested in. And there's a Keragen recipe that doesn't appeal to me. I prefer this Keragen recipe. Like, by the way, Keragen, I've been looking at Keragen. It's really good. Like, it's really good. I like the Keragen gasoline in particular, and the crude. This is really good. Once you get access to it, I love the Keragen recipe. Yeah, it's drill heads, but oh man, the power of Keragen. Like, holy crap, the power of Keragen. Not in a million years would I spend super steel or super alloy on Keragen, but I will absolutely spend drill heads. I'm saying that, and Pyanodon's going to see this and be like, oh hey, maybe I should increase that drill head requirement to like 10 or something. And it's like, oh great, well, there goes that. Out the window. There goes the entire usefulness of Keragen completely out the window, if that's the case. The only reason why Keragen is useful is because it's that amount of drill heads. A reasonable amount of drill heads, not, like, if it changes, then it's, like, not viable to even use it, period. So, that's a thing. Let me grab a car, because I'm going to need a car. And I'm going to need to go find my niobium complex. I have to find it. That's the, that is an issue. Speaking of which, let's get off of this. Niobium down here. Have I moved my complex? I have not. No, I have. I have. I have put my niobium complex somewhere. Oh, joy. That's an interesting spot for you. And I've brought it up. Am I using you for an alloy? I've completely forgotten what I'm using my niobium complex for up here. Wow, you're brought pretty far. Here. Ah, you're being used in cladding. Right, you get used in cladding. As part of the circuit 2 chain. Well, really, it's the optical fiber chain. That's what it's used for. By the way, optical fiber starts down here. Starts down here with these glass cores. Well, this is the... Da-da-da, testing, testing. Testing, testing. I'm seeing output. How about on the webcam? No, that's sort of stuck still. The webcam's stuck still. I have no idea how long the webcam's been stuck and how much of the audio got cut from that. So I have to go here. I have to actually go into my stream setup here. See what I can do. Yeah, that off on. No, that's not going to do it. Properties. Deactivate. Activate. There we go. Of course, and that changes all of the settings for the webcam after I basically unplugged it and plugged it back in. So now I have to go back, properties, configure. Let's actually make sure that I have white balance. Yeah, that helps. That helps a bit. Yeah, I was basically black and white and blue. That's much better. So that happened. I don't know how that just happened, but yeah. Things died. Things died. So just going to review where things currently stand after all of that. So I need niobium. So I need niobium to feed into super steel. And where I was setting up my super steel down over here, where I was setting that up, I am at the point where I need niobium because it's not being fed. I said don't ever do a uranium-based fuel rod Mark 1. Just do the niobium nextlit coke recipe. And I was like, okay, well down here, my niobium complex is actually being fed all the way up for the cladded core, for the cladding, I should say. And I talked a bit about how the cladding as part of the optical fiber chain, I sort of talked about the optical fiber chain, went from about, if I can find it again, went from here, glass cores, cladded cores from cladding, which needs the niobium complex. So I've taken my niobium complex, I'm bringing it up so that I can more easily feed my niobium plate processing. So that's basically what I've done, is I've brought my niobium complex up so that I can more easily make some niobium plates up here. This is going to need some vanilla chem plants to make niobium oxide. I have the ammonia. I don't have to worry about needing the ammonia, because the ammonia is right here. Get that going. I've got tons. The paving that I'm running on is aluminium tile. The aluminium tile is a 210% movement speed bonus. Yes, 210% on the aluminium tile for walking speed. So that's what I'm walking on, and that's what I have put ghosts down for the entirety of the base. Like, the entirety of all this stuff up here has ghosts now to put aluminium tile. It's a lot. Since there's not many things that use aluminium plates overall, it mostly gets used for duralumin. I've been dumping my excess aluminium into the aluminium tiles. So let's see again. Let's go with the Mark II electrolyzers. on these niobium plates. Of course, it needs salt. The salt is why I'm doing this up here, by the way, is I need salt, and the salt is closer up here. Now, these two take 5.41. Those, by the way. Holy crap! This changes everything. This changes everything. Oh yeah. This feels good. I should be doing this a lot more. By the way, that's just 2 chem plants. I'm gonna need a few more of you. You know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna do 1-to-1. Just 1-to-1 is fine. Just make sure that I am outputting onto the network here. And there we go. Yeah. Let's see, that is 2.39 on the plates. I don't even know if I'm pretty sure I have enough niobium complex coming in. I wonder how many other steps in niobium can have productivity. That's the other thing I didn't check. I want to check Molly. I want to check Molly for productivity modules, because everything that was added in Pyro ores, all of those ore processing chains can't have productivity modules. But when I set up Molly and when I set up niobium, I assumed that they followed the same pattern and could not use productivity modules. But niobium clearly can use productivity modules. So, where cannot be used in filter. Huh. This changes everything. Like, literally, this changes everything. I built this whole chain on the basis of not having productivity modules. Of course, when I built the thing, I didn't have productivity modules when I built this chain. When you first build it, you won't have them, but holy crap. What does that even mean, though? What is now the actual output of 15 per second of Molly ore in, if using productivity modules? Also, Pyanodon will eventually see this. That He will eventually see this, and that might change. May take away the ability to use productivity modules for niobium and molybdenum. That's probably going to be a thing that happens. Just saying. Because just that alone, having productivity in those two chains, that changes everything. Oh, and I guess I didn't check the gold chain. I'm assuming that it's not the case for the gold chain. Like, I'm thinking anything added in Pi Fusion, which is Molly. Molly is 15 to 0.5 without modules. Which absolutely sucks, yes. 15 to 0.5. So, niobium is part of Pi coal processing added in Pyro. Niobium is coal Aha, that would probably be why niobium can use productivity modules. I think niobium was an oversight. It probably shouldn't be able to use productivity modules, but Molly might be intended. I don't know. I don't know, it might be intended for both of them. What I do know is that it's not intended for the remainder of all of the Pyrot ores processing, the extended chains. It's not done for extended chains, but these are inherently different. Niobium and molybdenum exist as they are and do not change. There's no additional processing steps with increasing tech level for either of them. So having them use productivity modules to get more out of it makes a degree of sense. Just because that is your only way with increasing tech level of increasing your output for the ore in for these particular chains. If there were additional steps to the chains that were unlocked with increasing tech levels, then I could see a removal of productivity modules for these two particular chains. But as it currently stands, I think they really should have the productivity modules just as the just so that there's progression there as you increase your tech level. But we'll see what happens. Either way, looks like my demand is exceeding my ability to produce these right here. My little bootstrapped setup is, I guess, what I can call it. So I have 3 of these. That's 3.09. 5.28. Yeah. I can add 2 more pretty safely. Very safely, I can add 2 more. And in fact, I will do just that. Gosh, I wish I had a spot to be able to get a thingy right in here, but that's not how the pipes are going to treat me unless I do this. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do. There we go. A spaghetti setup overall, but still. Whoops, did not intend that. I wanted half of these to put in there to get this moving. Like, well, unless I do this. I made it fit. Oh boy. Oh hey, yeah, that's right, I totally said go delete my guar stuff up here. Yeah. Right. I said to delete this. I also have this deconstruction planner here. This deconstruction planner ignores the tile ghosts. Always, always handy to have a deconstruction planner that ignores tile ghosts. I can just go through here and grab everything that I missed. On my initial pass. Oh wow, I can't believe I missed you. How did I miss you? Just want to clean up these, because they're not required anymore. I don't need them. I do not need any of this. I have marked power poles to rechargers. No, there's big power poles. There's big power poles. Everything is in range of the big power poles. Except for the stuff in the middle. Like, if it's not in the middle, it's okay. Yeah, I've placed things very specifically in my blueprints for these grids. All of these surround a big pole and get powered by the big pole. Yeah, I'm getting rid of the mediums on purpose there. So that's 2 free 2x2s that I have available now. 2 empty 2x2s. Oh hey, there's Kimberlite. Oh hey, there's Kimberlite. He's humming along. I really don't want to do Kimberlite processing if I don't have to, but I might have to. Is the issue here. Alright, heading back to the Super Steel, because I think I may have non-zero amounts of Super Steel happening. Also, yeah, the drilling fluid one is going to be a little bit empty until my setups here get up and running. Once these guys get up and running, I've got, as I said, like 9 of these 2x2s in total. There's 5 here, there's a 6th one here, 7, 8, and 9. So I've got some on this side of the map, right up there, tucked in, and then 5 here. Which, as I said, I can't fit one in the middle here. Just can't fit one in the middle. I can fit the 3 here, but it just won't happen in the middle. Yeah, it just barely won't fit on these. And you have to rotate each time to get things to fit on this particular blueprint, just the way it's been made. Just won't fill that middle. So it's a box, but not the middle. Oh well. Any hoozle. Heading on over. We're actually using less power right now than we were after starting particle acceleration. Ah, wonderful. That's what happens when you free up 12,000 of your Logibots from work. You also free up a few hundred megawatts of power overall. Ah, good. You are accruing. I have fuel rods now. I should probably be doing this with the silicon as well. Hey, it's non-zero. It's non-zero. Oh boy. Non-zero. We have molten super steel. Which means it's time to cast super steel. I've been waiting for this day. For many days. For many days. Fortunately, I have the aramid and I have the sand castings. They are on their way. They are off to pick up the stuff. I have one casting unit. Gosh, I wish I could do that productivity on this. But can't. So 25, 37 and a half. Ooh. Speed, glorious speed. Wherefore art thou? Where are my speeds? 35. Close enough. Close enough. And power the machine. So. That's super steel. I wanna see the non-zero. I want to see the non-zero. Let's yeah, rotate it to actually get the molten in. Oh boy, it's I would have seen it that the rotation was wrong once once I saw that these two were going. It would have clicked. It's like, why is it not outputting? Like, oh, right. And there it is. There it is. It's non-zero. It's non-zero. The super steel has arrived. Actually, you know what? The super steel has arrived. I have to screenshot here. It's like, oh, great. All that pain and suffering finally paying off. We did the thing. It exists. One of now an incredibly small number of people who has done this on stream, recorded, like, content of Pyanodons. Who has gotten to Super Steel. Who has gotten to circuit, past Circuit 2s, let alone getting to Super Steel. There's only one more major thing, which is the super alloy. And then we'll be good. The issue, of course, with the super alloy is that unlike with the super steel, it uses molybdenum trioxide. Yeah, that's a slight pain in the rear. Now, I'm heading down. I need to, like, get rid of some of this stuff from my inventory. I need to open up some stuff from the inventory. You can go away. You are already in my blueprint library, as are you. I'm not going to place you down anytime soon. Get rid of those methanol reactors, those, I guess the quenching towers as well, the evaporators. For now, all this stuff that I don't really need on me. Oh, I want those. I don't need those, per se. Guess I can get rid of the extra particle accelerators now, if I really wanted to. Otherwise, I'm going to leave it as is. Okay, I came down here to do a this. Not a that, a this. You there. I have a very important task for you. Oh, yes, this is gonna feel real good. It's gonna feel real good. Oh boy. It's gonna feel real good. I need a few thingies. I need steel and circuit 2s and small parts. Okay. Well, steel is fine. Small parts is also fine. Ish. Circuit 2s, that's gonna be a little harder to find. Adequate numbers of. Oh boy, circuit 2s. Hi. Aw, that's like non-existent. Alright, grab these as they're made, I guess. A few of them. Grab everything from in there. Really? I mean, there's that many in there, but I've got a lot being requested. That's all a function of my, you know what, I'm gonna take those. Make that. And I will request, of course, from you, these. Now what this does is it pulls the cargo bots that are in my network. So it's directly pulling the cargo bots that currently exist in my network. I'm also going to cease production of the Mark 1s for the Mark 2s. You are no longer going to be requesting those. Oh no. You're going to be requesting all of these. Every single one of those. Now, what are you missing? Of course, you're missing the circuit board 2s and they exist. Mark II Logibot, non-zero of the Mark II Logibots. It's gonna take a real long time to upgrade all of them, but we did it. It's done. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. There it is. There it is. The Mark II. The Mark II bot. Oh boy, that feels good. Actual progression. Finally, actual progression. Like we finally did it. Finally. Finally. More bots. All the bots. Go. Do the thing. Yes, do the thing. Go. Be free. Be free, my minion! They are... How do they compare? Speed, 41 or 49.1 versus 30.2. Yeah, that's a pretty good difference. That's a pretty good difference. That's like a 60% increase, something like that. More than a 1.5x. It's a 1.6 something x. So that's a really good bonus to speed. Speed, of course, is all I really care about here. And then as I get up the tech tree, it will only get better. Now, I want to keep this set up. Of course, now we're going to be very much limited by the circuit board 2s. Very much limited by the circuit board 2s. And the other thing is that the only thing that this is actually really going to do is just... it will reduce the total number of bots in use over time. That's all it will do, effectively, is it will reduce the number of bots flying around. It also, of course, will reduce the flight time, which is very important. Very important. Flight time is what I consider to be the most important aspect of your robots. What the heck am I going to do next? Oh my gosh, we've got another hour left in the stream. What am I actually going to do? I guess I have to start working towards purple science now. Maybe I set up some drilling fluid 3? I don't know. Maybe I start working on... Well, I technically could do circuit 3s. I need a more consistent supply of gold for circuit 3s. So circuit 3s will happen after purple science. That is, generally speaking, the intended path, is to do circuit 3s after getting gold processing, true gold processing going at purple science. So circuit 3s will happen after purple, and after picking up the gold chain and building out the gold chain and getting lots and lots of gold that way. But I am particle accelerating gold right now, but I'm particle accelerating gold so that I can have uranium for purple science. Now, you. It's just that the only way to get uranium infinitely is through particle acceleration. And that's the theme of my base, is particle acceleration. Or the theme of my base is to get everything infinitely from infinite sources, not limited resources, such as ore patches. I could very easily, very incredibly easily, mine uranium. I could incredibly easily mine uranium, but that's not the theme of my base now. The theme of my current base is transitioning to anything that can be obtained infinitely will be obtained infinitely, and the only thing that cannot be obtained infinitely is rare earth oxide. Rare earth oxide is the only thing. By the way, what are you lacking? You are apparently lacking sulfuric acid. What? What? Of all the things to be lacking, sulfuric acid is not allowed to be one of them. Have I broken a pipe connection? That is an option. No, I'm seeing a flow. There is a flow. Have I not fully connected my... I might not have fully connected the sulfuric acid. Let me have a look-see up here. Oh, you know what? I know. I think I know what it is. I think I know my problem here. My problem here is that my primary source of sulfuric acid is from coal bed gas. And there was a change to the ability to get coal bed gas such that it made using the filtration media for coal bed gas a better option. The issue here is that I am not making enough filtration media at the moment. And why am I not making enough filtration media? Because things are, like, choking down my bus slightly. Ever so slightly. Things are starting to run out. If I can find my filtration media. This is lacking in activated carbon. Activated carbon I see here is lacking the... Oddly enough, it's lacking the sodium hydroxide. It should not be. Like, I know how to make this in infinite amounts. Yeah, I need to help out that production, but what I have done is started to think about making it on my network. Somewhere around here is a filtration media icon. I am apparently blind. Unless I somehow deleted it. Wherefore art thou? I'm pretty sure that I had done a map icon. Huh. There. Right there. It was hard to see. Filtration media. The issue here is that there's no major source of the zinc chloride here. And this just simply isn't making enough filtration media by itself. So I need to, like, build a zone of, like, a specific 2x2 or 1x1 just for filtration media, but I will do that off screen. So, super alloy will need helium, and it will need molybdenum trioxide. That is... So all my input comes from mushrooms, guar, soil, wood. All my inputs come from water, effectively, wherever it can. Generally speaking, that inherently means mushrooms, soil, limestone, wood, guar, all that sort of stuff as basic materials. Because this guar is coming from soil and sand from soil, which the soil is water. Limestone is water. Mushrooms. Water. Relesia. Hydrogen and soil. Soil, water, hydrogen. Water. Aromatics. Mushrooms and flowers. Or water and water. Olefins. Olefins is aromatics, which is mushrooms and flowers, which is water. When you get to things like copper ore ground boring, you have lubricant. Lubricant, which is aromatics, which is mushrooms and flowers, which is water and water. Coal gas. Coal gas. DDC. Coal into coal gas and tar, and use the tar to make more coal gas. Coal from mushrooms. No, it's better for mushrooms for the coal. The mushroom recipe is much better than the wood in terms of overall footprint. So mushrooms into coal, or water into coal gas, basically. So water and water. And then you get into the drill heads. Well, the drill heads is chromium and iron plus steel. Well, steel is iron. So iron plus chromium. Well, iron is drilling fluid 1. Drilling fluid 1. Drilling fluid 1 is water. Copper, or copper, aka water. Sand. Sand, aka soil, aka water. And guargum. Guargum, aka from... Guargum is from guar seeds, is from guar, is from water, sand, soil, water. So drilling fluid 1, water. Drilling fluid 2. Drilling fluid 2, little bit longer of a process, but same thing, in which case you need silver from lead processing, from drilling fluid 1, of course. So drilling fluid 1 feeds into drilling fluid 2 right here. But same thing. Boric acid from boron ground bored using drilling fluid 1 plus coal gas. The ethylene glycol, that's what's going to use that little bit of silver. But ultimately, ethylene glycol is slacked lime, which is coke, which is coal, which is mushrooms, which is water. And then limestone, which is water, to make lime, to add water to make slacked lime. In terms of the ethylene glycol, the chloroethanol in here, well, that's water plus ethylene chlorohydrin plus ethylene. Ethylene, well, you can use iron oxide, which you can get by classifying sand into gravel. That gives you a ton of iron oxide, in which sand is water. So this stuff, this is water, and then the pressured air is free, so water. Then you've got the ethylene chlorohydrin. Well, this is the stuff that needs the little bit of silver in. So again, back drilling fluid 1, aka water from lead. And then whatever lead process you want to get to silver. And water. And chlorine. Well, chlorine... Easiest method on chlorine is, well, tholins, which is like literally out of nothing, out of thin air, to get chlorine. And, yeah, then the hydrogen chloride, well, that's a little more difficult because then that's lamps, which is iron, copper, and glass. Iron, copper, glass, classify classify sand into gravel, which gives iron oxide and crushed quartz. And you have all the glass you need. You'll have way more than enough glass for that. But the issue is then you need even more copper and even more iron. Yeah, so things start to bloat a lot as you go down the line. But I've been doing it thus far, somewhat. I don't think I'm going to do Super Alloy yet. I think Super Alloy I'm going to do after making Purple Science. And I've decided to do this because helium. Because helium. Helium 4, I guess I technically have access to currently. I mean, there is this, but I'm not going to do this. That's just no. Nope, not doing that. Dry gas stream, clean liquid air, cold clean air, cold air, purified air, activated carbon. Okay, so there is a route that I could do now from activated carbon. It would require biofilm, I saw. That would be new. Liquid nitrogen I have the ability to make anyway. There's the biofilm. Cold, clean air. I will need to do this anyway for heavy p-doped silicon. And then dry gas stream. That'll actually give a helium 4. Wait a minute. You need helium 4, not 3. Or has it always been helium 4? I guess it's always 4. Let's see. Helium 4. Oh yeah, that's the 3. From liquid? No. Helium 4 from Purier. Purier. Anyway, dry grass stream, yeah, that gives 1 per second from 5 clean. Then the actual dry gas stream is used for high purified, which then becomes rich and helium rich. The helium rich becomes purier. Purier! It's purier! And that into more helium. Ultimately, this is a process that I think is supposed to come from the calcinets. I don't currently have the ability to mine the calcinets, but that is a way of getting up to helium. Activated carbon into helium. Regardless, that's for another time. For now, the time has come to work on Purple Science. The time has arrived to begin the work towards Purple Science. This has absolutely nothing to do with Super Steel. Just for reference. Nothing to do with Super Steel that we just did. I will need for this... Oh, I need to get the zinc acetate on the network. So that's missing. The Purple Science ultimately... containers, control units, and nuclear samples. This is used in the containers. Hello, Kitty. Welcome back, Kitty Cole. Welcome back. Yeah. Shaking water on me. I guess I know where you just were. Drinking out of your water bowl. Anyway, where's my thingies? Here's my thingies. Alright, good. Coated containers. which needs lead containers. That's everything, yes? Yes, that's all of that. You make 0.5. Yeah, that's fine. Control units. Oh boy, I need stuff for this. Oh god, that's a lot of circuit board 2s. Oh god, okay. That will trickle. That will just trickle, and I am nowhere near 5. Hey, I've got fuel rods. I know I've got fuel rods. So Nenbit matrix and Nexalit infused cartridges. What is the building I need for that crap? There's the Nexalit infused cartridge. Lithium peroxide. Oh joy. Lithium peroxide. And then Nenbit matrix. From Nexalit matrix. Nanomaterial factories. Oh boy, I need epoxy. Do I have bisphenol A? I don't, because that's only used in epoxy. So the thing about this recipe is that phenol from cumene makes acetone as well. Is it enough acetone to go into bisphenol A? I don't know off the top of my head. And then hydrogen chloride, which is like, ugh. Ugh. I've got collagen. I've got collagen. Resorcinol. That's fine, and I need it for this RF gel, which is used for, aerogel, I think. Yeah, aerogel. And I'm going to be needing aerogel at some point, so I may as well go the route of the resorcinol. This is 4 every 15. This is 6 every 3. So this is the recipe you will want to go down. Yeah, it's collagen, but... yeah, I'm sort of making collagen right now. Cough, cough. Wheeze, wheeze. Epichlorohydrin, though. Oleos, glycerol, HCl. A lot of HCl. Why does this have to be the only recipe for this? Why does this only have one recipe? Come on, man. So the oleochemicals will give glycerol less glycerol than the oleochemicals than you make. So just the nerve of this recipe being less oleochemicals than glycerol is like, ugh. So, and then that amount of hydrogen chloride for the epichlorohydrin out, that's like, what? Because this is lamps. When I see hydrogen chloride, I see lamps, and I see large amounts of iron and copper. Copper specifically, because it's an insane amount of copper wire on top of plates. It's equal amounts plates for copper and iron, but it also needs a lot of copper wire on top of that, and glass to make the lamps. I wish that the hydrogen chloride from hydrogen and chlorine, I wish that this gave a percentage chance return on your lamps. Like, can we please get a percentage chance return on the lamps? Like, that would be amazing. That would actually make this a lot more viable, a lot less painful of a recipe, because as it stands, this is a very painful recipe. as the primary source of hydrogen chloride. And it makes no sense that you quite literally burn an entire lamp to make hydrogen chloride. I mean, I understand the concept here. The concept is that you have to add heat / photon energy to actually combine hydrogen and chlorine into hydrogen chloride, because chlorine exists as a pretty stable molecule. I mean, that chlorine is pretty stable. You have to first split the chlorine as well as split the hydrogen before you can actually make hydrogen chloride out of it. This stuff doesn't like existing as just free individual molecules. However, with hydrogen, you will find free protons hanging around, H pluses. It's that chlorine. That chlorine loves existing as Cl2. You have to add energy into the system to convert it into anything else. So I get it with the lamps, but do you really have to, like, are the lamps you make so fragile that they burn out instantly after a single cycle of making hydrogen chloride? I think it would make more sense if you had a, like, 90% chance of returning your lamp. It would definitely help. So, you there. Continuing on. Infused, no. Nexalit cartridge. Any other way of making this? Nope, that's about it. Nexalit in lithium peroxide. How the heck do you make lithium peroxide? You make it from hydrogen peroxide. Interesting. Auto-saving. Now, I'm already making this. The only way... Why? Oh, hey, there's a Mark II bot flying by. Why do you have to be nickel? Anyway. Yeah, that's fine. I guess I have to set some of this up, don't I? This would be great to do off-screen. Hydrogen peroxide at scale with nickel. Well, we need nickel. We need nickel if I plan on doing this. That would be something that I think I want to design live. So let's use this last half hour or so designing a setup for infinite nickel. So, nickel is different. Nickel is different. Why is nickel different? Nickel is different. Of course I chose the wrong recipe. That's one. Nickel is different because it has a tar and hydrogen recipe. It also has bitumen and propene, but bitumen, like, good effing luck. Like, good luck with that. Maybe if you had Kerogen to do this recipe, but nah. Nah. Tar plus hydrogen in ionic upgraders. I'm going to need to request my ionic upgraders. Please bring me ionic upgraders. Thank you kindly. I have these free now. Where am I standing? Here. I have to go all the way up there. This is why I'm building the 210% movement speed aluminium tiles everywhere, just for reference. I'm building these tiles because I have a pretty large base and I need to move around a lot. There's a Mark II bot! There's a Mark II Logi bot. There it goes. On its merry little way. About 160-something% faster than the standard Mark 1s. Oh, there it is. There's one. Right there. Right there. Flying off. Off, and away. Wonder how long it'll take before I have even a majority of my bots flying around being those Mark II bots. Oh, there it goes. There's one. Right there. Because I sort of have, like, 23,350 Logibots to have replaced. Not quite that many, because a tiny few have been upgraded already. But yeah, slowly but surely going to upgrade all of those robots. All of these will be Mark IIs. And as they, by the way, as they upgrade to the Mark IIs, that will mean that I will have less overall needing to be used because they can get their jobs done faster. Thus is the point, right? The faster they can get things done, the better. Speaking of which, have you bought me these yet? Doesn't help that I'm running in the actual opposite direction of where the Ionic upgraders is. Did you wow, we're sub 2. We were like 2.4 before all of these changes that I've made. Now it's down to hovering around 2, going even below that at times. Oh, that's what all my construction bots are doing right now. Hey, guys. I mean, seriously, you don't have to do that. You really don't have to do that. Please stop. There you go. There you go. I think we need to take the extreme methods here and destroy the stuff. Almost destroyed a Mark II bot. Oops. Looks like they're still trying to pull stuff out of these boxes. Let's not have them occupied doing this. Goodbye. They're damaged. They'll heal themselves. Excellent. Wow, just a random strip of aluminium tile right here. I'll take it. Where are these Ionic upgraders? Could you please get them to me? I need them. I need them because I need to know what my scale is going to look like. For all of this. Probably shouldn't do this here because I'm going to be needing quite a bit of tailings for this. Or tar, I should say. Quite a bit of tar. In fact, I should just plan out. Let's see. How are these doing on tar? They're backed up. Why do I have all of these to begin with? So all of these exist here with... Where was I sending all of this stuff again? I have completely forgotten. Let's see. Tar. Like, all of this tar is brought here for creosote. Right. That's what you're being used for. Creosote. And then the creosote is being sent all the way up here for stone wool. That's what the creosote exists for, is for the stone wool. Once I have enough of the gravel going, because this is currently limited by gravel, once that's going, the creosote will be moving more again, so I can't depend on my tar production from those current locations. Just can't do it. I can't do it. Sadly, can't do it. How are the Zapier looking, by the way? Yeah, there's quite a few lit up, moving, doing their thing. Eventually, the boxes will all be full. Eventually, the boxes will all be full on the collagen, and then everything can just back up, and we'll be happy briefly. So this actually isn't going to be enough space. I don't think. Have you brought me these yet? Yes, you have. Good. Oh, hey, it's the silver zinc alloy. That is very, very tempting, but... Yeah, 2,000 units per second. You know, just casually 2 whole thingies. Pipes. At least it has more than one input here. That's refreshing. Hey, can you use these? Of course you can't! You know, what would actually be somewhat useful. But anyway, this recipe. Of course. So, yellow belt of nickel. 3 ionic upgrader Mark IIs. 750 per second of tar. 150 per second of hydrogen. That is insignificant on hydrogen. 750 tar. Three of my setups. That's what it's going to basically be. So 3 of these. That overproduces the tar by a little bit. It's like 900 tar-ish between 3 of these. But 750 is more than 2. I think it's like 700-ish off of 2, so it's just barely more than 2. And of course, each one is fed by an entire one of these of mushrooms. So, if I do want to build in here, I would have to belt into here, because I could pretty easily get 3 of these into a 2x2. I could put 4 into a 2x2, and then you just have an empty space, and that can be where I convert the tar into my nickel, and then I can use this for actual nickel processing right next door. The issue is that, well, I need to get 3 mushroom 2x2s down. Not only get them down, get them belted in on the coal. Get the coal belted in. Which would be 6 red belts belted in. Oh, I would also be very tempted to actually mine these phosphate rocks. Oh boy, yeah, that's very tempting to mine the phosphate rocks here. So, ooh, looks like I have enough room here. I could do the mushrooms here. Anyway, I have a blueprint for this. Yeah, that'll be fine. Just place down the tiles, the grid. Then get the mushrooms. And again, this type of scaling I would usually do off screen, but this is part of our new setup on the thingies. Oh, you know what? I'm going to kill that. Note that the belting by default is down at the bottom. Now that's convenient on this one that the belting is here, and it will be fine to have the belting here on this one, but the third one will need to be reversed. So this one's fine, but this next one needs to go. Oh. Oh, that's so inconvenient. You. Ugh. Alright. Bring me some stuff. That's another thing I did off screen, by the way, is I have taken my stone that was otherwise being voided into saline water, and I took out to make some landfill. Just a little bit of landfill. Also told my robots to go, my Constructo bots to go and fill in wherever they can the all the stuff that can be landfilled. On top of, you know, placing hundreds of thousands of units of aluminium tile ghosts everywhere, that's slowing down by, like, a lot my UPS. So they will slowly but surely bring me some landfill. This will never be placed, by the way, because I don't have one of these here. About 20 more minutes left in the stream today. I am uncertain if I'll even see any non-zero amounts of nickel. I think so, though. I think I might at least be able to see that. About placing this. There you go. I need to remember that I need to stay in my network. That would be convenient. So that my dudes can actually bring me the landfill that I need. I was about to say, it's like, if there's actually a nickel patch, there's a lot of zinc. Wow. There is a lot of zinc. Holy moly, that's a lot of zinc. Oh, that's stone. I might want to murder this stone. You know, that goes against my, my plans on this playthrough. My plans, of course, for the playthrough being to get anything that I can. If I can get it without mining it, do so. And we're about to do that with nickel going forward. Don't need to ground bore for nickel, fortunately enough. As I have shown here with this, it's 3 of these, and then a 2x2 to get the nickel ore, and then the processing of the nickel ore. If that wasn't the case, well, then you need drilling fluid 2 to ground bore for nickel, which drilling fluid 2 is a much, much bigger overall footprint. Are you even bringing me these? Like, come on, guys. Come on, guys. I've got 13 grand of you sitting around doing nothing. Oh, there's some. Oh yeah, and I guess these are still working on their placements of stuff. Need to get the actual guar moving. That would be handy. If we can get some guar gum actually moving. Fill in some of these gaps here. Nanobots, by the way. Really convenient. Very, very convenient. A must-have, as it were. And I do think I saw that there was some sand moving. I need to finish this little zone. There we go. Now the sand can move. Yeah, that's fine. And as the buildings come in, it'll improve the output here all the way up to a 1.6 per second on the guar gum. So they brought me the things. They brought me a couple things, not all of the things quite yet. Yeah, so now I'm seeing the soil is coming in. The soil actually needs 2 of these. 20.16. How many? 60... 32? Oh yeah, there's 4. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that does it. That'll do. Yeah, 60 each for the guar plantations, each 2x2, and I have 9 of these right now to feed what I currently have for the guar gum. I can see, hey, we've got non-zero on that guar gum. That is excellent. Much needed. I see they're bringing me my belts before they're bringing me the other stuff. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here comes that landfill. Slowly but surely. There they all are. Yes, landfill, please. I see a lot of belt and no, not landfill. There's the landfill, right there. Slowly but surely, these guys are going to be upgraded to the Mark IIs. And I'll actually be able to have stuff delivered to me in a reasonable amount of time. Here they come. Fill me up to 500, please, so that I can go and get this done. Get this little bit of water filled. One more. There you go. The bots hold 4 items. Currently. The Logi bots, that is, hold 4. The construction bots hold 2. And the Logis... The Mark 1 Logis hold 4. The Mark 2s hold 5. Oh, so not only are they a little over 60% faster, or 1.62x-ish faster, they also hold an extra item. Now that is handy, so I need to landfill this. Fortunately, my webcam and mic haven't died on me a second time this stream. That was so odd. There we go. Then I have to fill this. And that, as they say, is that. I have to put down another thingy like so. And get the blueprint here. Sorted. There we go. And that, as they say, will be that. I'll have to route the belts over to where they need to be. You shouldn't be there. Yeah, as this builds out, everything will be great. Actually, you know what? I don't think they're quite able to actually... No, they're not able to place the charging station in the middle there, so just gonna stick that on that one, and I'll call it a day on that front. For now, I will head on over to here. I guess placing the belt along the way to get this moving. I'm actually running a little low on my nanobots. Just a little low on the nanobot side of things. But I want to get the belts done as best I can, because I need the guargum flowing again. I've basically demolished all of my older guargum processing in favor of this new setup. The issue, of course, being that, yeah, you sort of have to build the new setup for it to actually function. So I've been running low a bit on my drilling fluid resources. Oh, go. Go, 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 Constructobot. Now, I have mentioned that I have this out here. Now, I don't need all of this. I do not need all of this, but what I do need is... Let's grab this half of it. because I am looking for tar. I need the tar and not really anything else here. I'll, like, do the logistics work for this off screen, as I've stated previously. But yeah, I am very much... Yeah, I need that to connect all the way down there. Like that. Similarly here. Make sure all of this is taken care of. Make sure that... Yeah, all of that is looking good. All the belts going into the burners look fine. And that should be good. I will... Like, a lot of this is just belt spaghetti that's not relevant currently. Maybe on the initial inputs. So I've got 4 belts here, red belts that are going to go all the way over, I guess, then feeding down into here, feeding into here, and then 1 more to feed into here. That will be the belts to get the coal in. Then I'll have to hook up all of the tar outputs and get them going into my glorious and beautiful 4 ionic upgraders. I guess I also need, I think it's 2? Yep, 2 total. 150. Oh, it's 3, not 4. Excuse me. Oh gosh. Hello, niobium pipe. I only have 1 right now. So this will be the nickel setup overall. Off stream, I will continue and finish this. As per usual, I will not do new things off stream. I will only do stuff that is like scaling of stuff, finishing off logistic stuff. Things like designing this with the guar. I've already done guar. I designed guar on stream, so I figured, you know what, we've already seen guar, let's do this different design for the guar gum off stream, and then I can just place it here. So that sort of thing is like, if we've done it before in a not as efficient way, I might change it up and do it differently off stream. But, yeah, so we've got what got done overall today. Well, a few rather interesting developments have happened today. We've got some interesting developments. We've got, apparently, a lot of... That is a lot of niobium plate. That is 2.4k niobium plate. Interesting. Why are you not moving, per se? Oh, because you're straight up full. Those are 2 full containers, yeah. So what did I get done today? I scaled niobium. I went over what I did off stream, which was designing the new guar setup and placed that down, primarily. Had done a lot of belt work off stream, getting all of the mushrooms belting directly into my little DDC arrays. as well as belted into my coke arrays. Outside of that, in terms of what we did physically, super steel and the, well, first was the particle accelerating stuff. Maybe I should make an icon here for the particle accelerators. Particle accelerators. Yeah, that stuff there. Particle accelerating vanadium and diamonds and molybdenum and gold into uranium. That's what we are doing right now, and as I can see here, I am out of proton donors. I appear to not have enough proton donors. And it appears to not be for a lack of boron. It appears to be a lack of substrate. What am I missing? Right, nichrome. I need to design something off-stream for nichrome at scale, which, hey, guess what? We've just set up the nickel here by doing this. Like, the nickel is set up now. So that's a thing. I need to set up nichrome at scale. That's going to be fun. Absolutely fun. So yeah, besides doing this initial setup, also got the non-zero amounts of beautiful and glorious super steel, which means also getting some silicon on the network, getting some fuel rods on the network, and of course then using our super steel as we autosave at 239 hours on this map, getting into the Mark II Logibots, and am in the process of upgrading the current Logibots, so no longer is my logistic network growing, but it is being replaced with far superior robots on Mark II. Now, these guys, looking at their sprite, I think the construction bots look cooler than these guys. Just saying. These guys look like floating boxes. Floating tan boxes. Whereas the construction bots are all shiny. Like, these guys are shiny. The other guys, the cargo bots are not so shiny. This is my Mark II construction bot. I think they look better. Anyway, we have reached the end of today's stream. With that, I would like to thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Showboat. If you're watching the VOD on YouTube, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you are so inclined, head on over to twitch.tv/OtakuShowboat to leave a follow and turn on notifications to be reminded when I go live Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to approximately 1 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Don't forget to answer the question of the day, which is, what is your favorite aspect of Factorio? The tutorial series going live later today is the Chromium processing tutorial. And that, of course, will be followed up with the Circuit 1 tutorial that I will be recording tomorrow during the day. Also, do not forget that as of Tuesday morning, I will be making a final decision. Tuesday morning, I will be making a final decision as to the exact game that I will be playing on Thursday from my back catalog of YouTube content. So if you have any desire to see any of the older content redone and streamed, let me know in the comments. I have an announcement video where I ask what your preferences are, so head on over to that video as well to to leave your thoughts as to what should be streamed from my back catalog on Thursdays going forward for some time. So again, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all on the next one.